Hello. Hello. Oh, is that camera? Why isn't this one working? You know what? This probably needs to be turned on. You're hearing me off my far mic. Clearly I've done no preparation for this stream. Alright, that one's on. That's cool. Now this one needs to be on. That's cool. Which it was a second ago. You're gonna have to believe me. Hopefully this isn't out of battery. I'm sure it just needed some waking up, you know what I mean? 100% it was blinking ago. We've got other microphones. I just prefer this one. So hopefully it works out. Hopefully it works out. I'm sure if I just hold the power button for 5 minutes, it will decide to perk up. You were just on. Which I guess would make sense. Oh, no, it's on. Okay. That one's on. Cool. And then this one. Why don't you guys see each other? It's so sad. You're both on, but you don't see each other. It's crazy. It's crazy. Well, I mean, already we are off to a good start. The short answer for this stream is that I'm an unorganized boy. We've been doing a lot of card games in the last couple weeks, which means that I probably have, oh boy, unironically, like 20 decks built across like 4 games right now. And that's too much. That's too much. That is too much. And I really hope I didn't like start the pair thing again with this guy. Let me see. Let me see this guy. It says it's trying to receive, so I mean that's kind of cool. There you go. There we go. Okay, oh, it's got green light. Oh, it's seen it. All right, cool. So now... Oh, there we go. Now you can hear me one time, probably. And probably a lot better. Goodbye, big microphone. Goodbye. All right. Yeah, we're just like really behind. I've got a bunch of decks that I built and played and tested. We've got Wednesday Night One Piece next week, which is like the first priority. But I don't think like people realize like how many decks I have to build. Is it better? Like on the daily. Like I probably have to like sleeve and unsleeve a deck every day, which is not me like complaining, but like there are just so much things that go around just like building decks in and outside of everything. So I wanted to stream today. I wanted to play some games, but I had to run around. I had to do a lot of errands. If you guys placed top 8 in my event last Tuesday, everything went out prizing wise today. And part of that, I'm just like, man, I'm tired. I don't want to like play card games more inefficiently than I normally do. So I need to sort a bunch of these decks. I need to sort a lot of these cards anyways. So let's just do the stream. If this is just unfun, we'll just be streaming for 2 hours. You guys can make fun of me as I just shuffle stuff around. I've got chat pulled up across the table for me as well. So that means that I will likely be a little bit more responsive than I usually am with chat. And we're just gonna hang out. We're just gonna be playing some games. If we are not playing some games, we're gonna be building some decks. So one day in the future, we could potentially be playing some games again. But first priority. This is always the issue with this, is that like I don't want to put all my cards away because like what if I need and like what, especially since I have to have like so many One Piece decks built. Like at any given time, I'm gonna have 5 One Piece decks built, right? 3 for Wednesday Night One Piece, and then 2 for the history. And luckily, there's usually like very little overlap between those 2 decks, but at the same time, it just means that I have to have a lot of cards and sleeves. And the other thing too is like I don't want to put cards away that are like tech options or choices for future cards and stuff. And that just means I have like a full container of like random cards next to me as well. So we'll see. We'll see what that looks like. But we're just gonna be chilling. We're gonna be hanging. If you guys have any questions, you want to do anything, let me know. And if anything, this might just be 2 hours of you guys listening to my Spotify playlist, which I'm really happy about the music that we have and the artists that we work with. If you guys ever have any questions on artists in particular, Zachary Wilson's definitely the one that I've been working with the most and the longest. He's got some really great beats, and I really appreciate his kindness for letting me use his music the way that I have been to the point where I think there's a lot of identity for myself and my channel based off that, which is really cool to see that. We've got a bunch of Riftbound cards, which actually let me temporarily put those in a Riftbound box. You know, if you guys are desperate, you can definitely send me cards to sort if you pay for shipping and like a little surplus fee, and you're not very, if you don't remember exactly what cards you sent me. I think that's that's a good mix for you. You will receive an amount of sorted cards back, and you'll be none the wiser. I think that's a good trade. Are these all the, yeah, and the biggest thing too, yeah, oh my gosh. I have a bunch of cards that were just like maybe cards for Riftbound. Riftbound specifically, like deck building in Riftbound is so dynamic right now that like you have to have pretty much just a play set of like extra tech cards for like potential options for things. So I have like I had like a card thing full of it. Why is this common Gem Jammer in a sleeve? That's so funny. Why are you in a penny sleeve? What have you done to deserve this, Gem Jammer? All your foil brethren were in a sleeve. I don't know what you felt so special about it, but we'll figure that out when we get there. But yeah, I hope you're doing good, Korean. You'll probably have opinions about this. I finally this week I bought Pokemon Legends ZA for the first time and started playing it. I know that was like a large part of your life for a long time and may or may not be still, but I have just started, and I don't know if this is like additionally like Yomi's getting that one. But honestly, it's to help prepare me for Pokemon Champions. There's a mildly large chance that I'll start be doing Champions content in the future. And I've been wanting to do, especially since like Chippy's been working hard on like the deck builder, and we have that resource. I'm thinking about having that. I'm thinking if there's any like community tools that we can start developing and do stuff with Pokemon Champions, especially since, as far as I know, the stat system is a little bit different than like competitive VGC. So it would be like a good starting point for people getting into it and a lot of other things. So it's a, don't hold me to it, but I've been incredibly interested. So part of that was just like, I probably should play ZA and get there. Also, based on how I know it, I have lost a lot of not lost. I have what's the words for it? There are a lot of Pokemon sitting in a Pokemon bank, inaccessible, are released into the wild. I don't know the right nomenclature for it, but I do have in before Nintendo season. You know what? You know, for what it's worth, a cease and desist means they watch my content. So the fact that someone from Nintendo's watched my stuff would already be enough of a point where, like, you know what, that's fine. At least Nintendo watches my stuff, right? That'd be the big thing. But if Nintendo, if you want to make a card game that's not Pokemon, please let me know. I think there's been the space for a long time to make a Smash Bros. Card game like thing, right? Right, that has to be like fish in a barrel kind of thing. You know what? We're gonna go crazy over here. I'll put we can combine chats between Twitch and YouTube now. Twitch used to be a bit of a stickler about it, and by stickler I mean they said that you couldn't. But let me see. Let me just add it. We'll put it in the bottom left. That'll also help people from the YouTube side realize I'm not talking to myself and vice versa. Do I even have a combined chat? There we go. It's going to be a big thingy. Yeah. There we go. We can just have it chilling over here. What's the best way to do this? Oh yeah, the best way to do it is like I have to just actually define the width of it. So I want it to be, let's do a 400 by 400 box. How about that? That's probably fine. On this side, no, you guys don't need to see my pectorals. There we go. All right. Yeah, so we have blue purple Sanji. So this was the deck that I had built. These are the decks I had built for last week's Wednesday Night One Piece. So we have these. I'm going to be choosing this week. I'm going to be choosing Nami. I'm going to be playing Red Green Law and blue purple Luffy. Those would be the 3 decks I've got this week. So before I put stuff away, I have to continue to have it out to make sure that I build the decks correctly, and then I can sort everything. So yeah, it's brutal. So we're going to start with Nami, though. I have the builds off to the side as well. So they're nothing too special. I'd say the Law deck's the one that I tested the other week, and it's on the page. The Nami, we're going to be trying out the Thriller Bark package, which I haven't done yet, so that will be fun. Also, should we be using, for Nami using the Thriller Bark package, should we be using the Nico Robin sleeves, or should we be using the Gecko Moria sleeves? I've been liking these ones. These ones are pretty nice, so I can be convinced into these ones. And they've got a good amount of the Gecko Moria stuff already. But one of these sets of sleeves. So, I mean, I can get stuff out that I know won't be in either deck right now. Because, yeah, we've got the Luffy here. I still love this leader, but I think he did get a little bit worse in this meta, unfortunately. We got our Kumos there, too. Yeah. And ironically, so when I built the blue-purple Sanji deck last week, I had to destroy a blue-purple Luffy deck, and now I'm rebuilding blue-purple Luffy. Just brutal. I think I'm going to use the Gecko Moria sleeves. These ones are fun. So if that's the case, the only cards that I'm keeping in there still... do we have 0 cost? No, we do not. We've got 4 of these. We don't have any Kumos. No Kizaru, no that, of course. We do need the Kikonojos. I did get my first girl promo, too. I went to Frankensons on Wednesday, and I wasn't able to find any of them, which was kind of upsetting. Because I'm willing to pay the market price of like $25 for them, but just never got them. Let's see. There's that. Yeah, I think it's only 2 Peronas, right? I say right as if you guys are looking at the deck list that I am. Right now I'm just building the first place, or not the first place, but the Nami list from TCG Matchmaking, the video that we made today. So, oh, no, these ones stay here. What am I doing? What's Eggman doing? Come on, Eggman. You're better than this. All right. These. So yeah, we'll get rid of all these. But yeah, I don't know if anyone's envious of what I do or how I just quote unquote play card games for a living, but it is a lot more work than I think a lot of people would expect. And I only complain about it during these card sorting streams because it's the medium for it. These are less popular, so I can be a little bit more complaining about it. But like I also hope people know that this is not me like being like, oh, poor me, I gotta sort cards and stuff. But there's always unfun things you have to do in life, and you do gotta get them done. Even if it is just like sleeving and sleeving pretty cards. I've not tried Raftel. I've seen people talk about it, and it's web-based, I believe, right? Like browser-based. I don't know the team behind it, if it's a new team or not. I would say specifically though that I've worked with Batsu for like a long time, and I've supported him. That I am unlikely to make a switch anytime soon, but I'll keep my eye on it for sure. But Batsu and I have been, I would say not like we'll chat. We're buddies in that sense. We don't chat very often though, but it's very clear that we just support each other. So I want to make sure that he continues to get my support. Yeah, the mobile, yeah. Which I think that is a fair point. That's probably not a condition that I need for as much, but I can understand These are for this one. Yeah, I can understand why that is needed for people, or like why that's important. This is for the Nami deck. Yeah. Yeah, no 8-drop kids. That's fine. But we have the 4 Hioris. But yeah. Let's see. Our broken search event. There's probably more cards in the Nami deck in the previous Nami deck, but we'll just still go through here. It cuts off stuff and makes... I'm not sure specifically what you're saying. I'm just like, are you talking about the thing? Makes a list of things like life. I still don't really 100% know what you mean. But maybe like it has like a... It does a better job at Yeah, gotcha. Okay. I think I know what you're saying. Also, I think I probably need one of these. Unblockable's too good in my eyes. Yeah, I like this card too much. The if I bow down to power. Yeah. I think the biggest thing to note is that like nothing drives innovation like competition though. And without like, I wouldn't say I have any like grudges or anything against like other deck builders, especially because like there's a lot of different philosophies for deck building. I would say the only thing that the deck builder on Eggman events, and I'm gonna say sometimes, but it's definitely a labor of Chippy and myself too. I'm not trying to take full credit of it at all. Especially recently, Chippy's really been putting a lot of work into deck builder. But you know, there's just like a lot of different design philosophies, right? I don't think there's ever going to be like a perfect deck builder and for anything. But the fact that that there are other deck builders in the space, there's definitely like some opportunity to be like, oh, that thing that they do is really neat, or that's a good idea, and we can borrow it. I don't know if borrow is the right word. I don't know. Stealing is too heavy of a word, right? And they're just not. They're ideas, right? At the end of the day, they're nothing like stealing intellectual properties. But like being able to just having tools that people appreciate is like the big thing for what we do. So hopefully that memes that I know like for the only thing I'd say that people have been saying specifically about Batsu, sometimes like the card adding cards to the thing is a little bit slow. But like, and the fact that like, well, there's no other competition means that it got done when it got done. But we're in this weird time where now that we're kind of caught up between formats, right? Like adding cards are a little bit more prioritized than anything. Yeah, but I agree. Spreading the player population for sure. Yeah, that's fair. It is nicer to have like a uniform thing. So if I was to say though, if there's one thing that it would do, there's potentially like it will reignite maybe trying to get some feature requests. I was gonna say the thing that I saw mostly people being upset about with Batsu Sim, if anything, was just the UI is a little bit basic. I also remember like Luffy TV had like a fundraiser tournament where I participated as a commentator for, and I donated essentially the money that I would have been earning towards the makeup too. So I think that was like a year ago. So we haven't really seen anything from that lately. And I would say, yeah, that'd be the only thing that I think that could be a little bit better. But I also like the fact that I can customize as much as we can. Do I think any EBO 3 or EBO 4 cards will be in the ban list? That's going to be really tough. Honestly, they don't like banning stuff so soon to the release of them. So it's going to be... Yeah, let's see. Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. I think like a lot of people are saying like the way that like Borsalino is like a dumb card. I don't think that's crazy to say, right? Yeah. So in the video, I don't think I was out front about the like I didn't say this word for word, but I think like I was the feeling I was going and saying like, man, this is a tough position to be in for the balancing department. I don't know the best way for doing it. My only consolation is that I'm not the one who has to make the decision. Yeah, Nico Borsalino for sure, especially with like being able to stack the Rayquaza, right? But yeah, Batsu's like the head of like the OPTCG sim. But I know that he has a family and a job, and he does all this on the side. So like it's all understandable. Like if there's feedback, it all comes from like how'd you sneak in there? You know, it's helpful criticism, but not. It comes with a sense of like I understand how life works, kind of thing. So we get that. Yeah, I personally, I've put up with pudding for a long time, and I'm just like, do I really want to live in another year where like pudding is still around? And the answer is really no. But that doesn't mean like it's a good hit, and it doesn't mean like I have good insight. You know what I mean? Like I'm also like it's pretty clear at this point I'm pretty biased against like Emu, and the point that I'm just bored of the deck existing, right? That doesn't mean it shouldn't exist, and that doesn't mean it should be be banned on the other side too. But like it's just like to a point where I'm like, yeah, I'm just tired of the deck existing. So I would say that my prediction videos are a little bit more opinionated on those sides, but I try to make that very clear whenever I can, so it's not just like this card needs to go, it's ruining the game. It's just like I personally don't like this card, and I would not be upset if I never play against it again. So pudding's definitely on there. Yeah, well, Moria, they like I will. This is maybe a little heavy-handed. They definitely dragged their feet a little bit with banning that card, right? They waited a long time where they could have banned it, and they waited until this time last year, right? So that's that. Yeah, it is really funny, especially because I'm in this like weird back and forth where we've been doing like the Wednesday night One Piece and also the history stuff, and so I've been looking back in time. One, it's funny like how bad black was the color in this game until Sakazuki came out. Like it just wasn't super played, and then like Sakazuki, it just like changed the way removal worked, and the fact that like cards strictly because they were, what is it? Like it used to be so easy. Like one drops would just get like incidentally removed. But now it's just actually you kind of have to go out of your way to remove them, right? So the shift in like removal has been really interesting. I still also need 3 more girl promos, which I think I said this earlier. I went to Frankenstein's this past Wednesday, so 2 days ago, and I just did not. No one really had them, which I was. Honestly, like, I don't know if I'm just, like, the problem. I keep wanting, like, niche things. I remember before Bandai Card Game Fest, it was kind of difficult to get Gundam stuff. And then, like, One Piece is usually pretty good, though. Fusion World is just, like, if you get lucky, you find the Fusion World cards you need. But it's really... I was just like, man... Because I'm willing to pay, the $20 a head for these girl promos. And I play Nami enough, but we'll see. We'll see. Yeah, excuse me. There are some removal decks. We got a VV. Well, honestly, okay, I will say I'm being like facetious, but in a real serious note, I think the biggest issue with removal decks is that they have to contend with 2 things. It really is just Ace and Emu. Emu just having all of your protection on everything for free, essentially, which means if you have a removal deck, if you play against Emu, you like your cards do half as many things as they used to do. and then the other side is like Newgate, and like a lot of the removals like kind of mid-range and kind of that level. But then if you don't have a way to actually interact with Newgate, then you just fail as a removal deck again. So it's a weird back and forth. Yeah. But well, I'm gonna make a video going over block rotation and my thoughts of like the cards that are we're missing or like we're gonna lose. I think the most impactful cards though, 8-drop Kid. It's gonna be sad to lose Law, but it's been his time. I get it. 4-drop Kuzan's like never been the worst card. We lose brand new Searcher, which actually is kind of important, especially for decks like Kobe, which I know a lot of people have been talking Kobe up, though I haven't been seeing it as much lately, especially because it did get support in EBO 3 and also EBO 4. We just don't have the EBO 4 half yet. It's gonna be wild to be caught up with Japan too. Think I'll ever play Digimon again? I likely will. I will say in earnest, the Digimon shelf no longer exists. Like there are, I'm not sure how well it's gonna follow me. Not well enough. Here I can do. Let's see. I've got all these card stuff. Digimon, and to the point where it's just full. I have too many cards in the regular rotation. So Digimon is in the storage container, and I haven't bought a box of Digimon probably in over a year now. But for better or for worse, I don't know if this is a good thing or not, but I will likely be trying out and playing the app once that fully releases. And if it's anything like the Fusion World app, will support it by being able to like import directly to it. So that will probably be the biggest catalyst for me playing Digimon again. Yeah, Elysian, right? I can never remember the name. You can call me a bad content creator. But yeah, I don't know if there's I'm guessing at Worlds next weekend they'll give us a more firm release date for it. Unless there is an official release date, I'm just way behind. I do not think that there will. Well, so Riot has really come out and said like, do not actually build a. Do not make an automated Riftbound client, or we will take action against you. So I don't think that's going to happen. But I'm going to be honest. As much as it stinks, like I can't like queue up with people randomly and make stream content for it. I think that it is better to not have an automated Riftbound app because a lot of the interactions are so specific. The game is really complex on what the interactions mean and how they work, that it's better in my mind that everything is automated all the time. Or not automated. Everything is, need one more Hiyori. Everything's manual. Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, but and I think, honestly, my guess, I mean, why we never got a Masters app? Yeah. I mean, yeah. Pac-Man remembers oh, we're making a Dragon Ball app, and then like Gen Con 6 months later, they're like, we technically didn't say it was an app for the current version of Fusion World. We never said that. But yeah, that was. And then they announced it that there's a different competing game during like one of the largest Dragon Ball events of the year. That was tough. That was a tough weekend for Dragon Ball Masters players. It's and then followed by a couple additionally tough weekends. But I understand like why they did it. Specifically like the fact that the game is complex and it's hard enough to get people into it, right? So I understand, honestly, like the logistics for it, as much as I'm like as negatively impacted by the change, I understand like why it made sense. Because it's still like Dragon Ball Masters still has this this issue where the complexity makes it very difficult for people to get into the game. And so, you know, an entire region just like, hey, here's 4 years worth of cards. Because they want whatever, for whatever reason, they had the license. either had the license and didn't use it for Dragon Ball for Japan, because they had a different game for Japan for Dragon Ball 10 years ago, and it didn't go super well. It was an okay game. I'm sure it was like saturated. I'm sure like people were just a little bit tired of the IP or whatever, and it just never took off, which is fine. But then they made a different game that was English exclusive, which became Dragon Ball Masters. And I say this every time, they accidentally struck gold. They're like, oh no, we accidentally made a really good game that people like playing, which seems like only positives. But you'll also notice, because at the time Bandai didn't really have a card game besides Dragon Ball. They had like the Naruto TCG was wrapping up, or had wrapped up. So they didn't really have much of a TCG presence in North America. And unironic, as far as I know, this is my headcanon, but they pretty much were like, well, we're gonna make this game because Dragon Ball Super's, you know, an anime that's going on right now, so we'll just make a game that goes with it. And then yeah, it was accidentally really good. So with all that, you know, the games continued, and you can also see like the first couple sets, and then were designed without thought of a lot of like longevity. And I'm sure they had this meeting, which I'm paraphrasing and making up in my head, but it's essentially something like, well, guys, we need to support this game in the long term, and that means we have to make some changes. So, you know, they changed a lot of their design for the best, for the better, I think, too. I don't think anything was bad, but it was really interesting to see that shift. And like restrictions and bans and like forward-thinking card design and all of that. I need four for this boy. 1, 2. Oh, they've got extra Kikonojas. That's where those extra sleeves go. Yeah, 2 more. So, and I think like unironically, like I need to Fusion World set 9 just dropped all their cards. It's going to be added to Eggman events in the next 24 hours, if not less. But you know, they made some pretty crazy cards for this next one, and honestly, set 8 for Fusion World was really, really good. I really enjoy playing it, and I think like the amount of like skill expression and stuff has been finally entered into the game. It was a little bit like play the card on curve and just attack. So it was like a little bit too simplistic immediately for my taste, especially after like playing Masters for such a long time. But I think Fusion World has finally kind of gone to a point where the deck building and the decision making and everything really, really adds up, which is fun. So it's been I know I haven't played like on stream Fusion World in a little bit, but I almost played it today. I hope I'm not giving anyone giving someone like FOMO of like the fact that I didn't play Fusion World today, but I will make sure to have it in the future, especially with the new stuff coming out in the next couple weeks. Yeah, there we go. And we just need 1 copy of Beta 5, which is a rare from somewhere. Oh boy, I don't think there. I'm sure I will find it eventually. My ideal, I will add it to the deck. Let's see. How dare I not play Fusion World today? I know. Honestly, like set 8 was really good, but I just the meta was solved, right? And there's really nothing to do about it right now. And then we're in this weird spot where we have Battle Hour in like a month, but there's not really any events left for 2025. I know it's silly to say that when we're in like March of 2026, but there's just like not a lot to do. If you guys use the online client, you get a bunch of free stuff right now, so definitely log in. You get like a bunch of free packs and a lot of free things to do. I also kind of have to push to God. We'll see if I have the patience to do that in the next week or so. But yeah, Fusion was in a good spot. If we were to play card games today, what I was going to do is going to be something called, I've made this up. It's completely made up. If someone else's format is this, it's not the most original idea, but I would have done something. I would have called it the triple triple. I would have 3 decks for 3 games. So for One Piece, it'd be yellow Luffy, blue purple Luffy, and red green Luffy. For Gundam, it'd have 3 decks with RX-78, and then for Fusion World, I'd have 3 Goku decks. So Son Goku GT, the black one, Topku, the red one, and the green Namek Goku. And then it would have been I'd have a spin wheel, and then whatever it lands to, I have to play that deck until I win, and then I switch it. So I have to win with 9 games across 3 games and 3 decks per game. So I might do that next week, but I had to run around LA a lot today, and it just drained the energy from me. I'm like, I can't be playing games correctly today. So do you look forward to GDO4? I do, and honestly, like the Star Deck 9, my biggest issue with the Gundam card game has always been consistency. I feel like you, at a high level, it's very tough to play. Like it's fun to do like a laddering like experience and play games, but like when you're in a tournament format where you have to, even if it's just like win 4 games in a row, that's just really tough with how the current game is, unless like you're playing something like blue purple. Like the decks that are consistent are very clearly very consistent, right? So I've always been kind of like mildly upset that there aren't like these units that let you like search the top of your deck, even if it's something like look at the top 5 cards of your deck, add a pilot, then discard a card, something like that. I feel like that kind of consistency is missing in a game where you have to have all these 2 card combos, right? Like even compared to One Piece, where we do have like cards that work together kind of well. It's not the focus of the game, right? That's the biggest difference. Where like you are like you get benefits from duels, but usually it's not as severe as like do you have a link pair for Gundam, and having like very little ways to consistently see your pilots together. I think makes it tough from like a consistency point of view. So when set 1 didn't have anything outside, like there was one card that said like search top 5 for a thing, and it was like the victory or defeat, which was played in like a little bit of Wing Zero, but yeah, I mean there's just so many things. Yeah, give me searcher units, archetype specific searchers would help immensely. 100%. I think that would be huge. The other thing is like I've always liked purple as a color in the game since it was released, and blue purple only makes sense because the blue half like really carries a lot of the deficits from the purple half. And so the new Star Deck 9 stuff actually looks really cool. I like how you can like cycle into the unit that really makes sense, so that's cool. And like the other issue was I think like purple doesn't have a card that like fills cards into your trash, right? Like there's so much it's asking for a lot right now to put like 7 purple cards in your trash or whatever it is for the effects. Especially like the red Atherin link, where it's just like if you have 5 purple cards in your trash, getting that on curve is like asking a lot, especially when you can't play Overflowing Affection, right? So we kind of got like a Xeon searcher, right? But it's like so specific that it doesn't end up being good. So I could be wrong, but I just feel like the current way the game works, it's hard to take it. I have a hard time convincing myself to go like spend time and money for a regional, where I feel like I'm the amount of control in the game is not to a point where I appreciate it yet. That is true about One Piece. One Piece, I would say, in comparison, deck diversity is very low. It's very rare for a deck to have like 2 archetypes. Like right now, Nami's like an exception, right? Because you have like the standard package and you have the Thriller Bark package. But I do think that's something that is a little bit of a weakness for the game. But I also think that there's been like as a North American player, I'm going to start building the Sanji deck also, or disassembling the Sanji deck so I can make the Luffy deck. But what I was going to say is that we've very few, like one of the few times was when we got half of EVO4 first in January. We like never ever get to play stuff early, or have impactful decisions when it comes to the meta for the One Piece game, right? Like just the fact that everything's out in Japan first means that it is we're just playing what they've already kind of figured out, right? So I think that will offer an opportunity for us to like there will be like a lot of decision making for deck building for the first couple weeks of a format, which has never really been the case for any like North American game, right? Because like it's always just like, well, it's clearly Japan's been playing this build for a long time and people are having a lot of success. So here we go. Format solved. So that's what I'm hoping for One Piece, where like late game, late format, that's going to be the case. But since we're going to get a little bit more like early format stuff, or you know, we're going to be able to help discover stuff, that'll be a big boon. Because there's like so many times where people are like, I want to try this, and like the first comment is like, well, if it was good, it would have been, you know, people would be playing in Japan right now, which is true, but like it's very demoralizing to see that set after set. And I'd have to like, I think there have been only a handful of times since the game released in 2022, which was 4 years ago, that we've had our own unique success with a deck. And it just has not happened very often. Most of deck building is solved. I mean, that's some archetypes, right? Like, for example, Emu, 100%. Like, if you watch today's video, I didn't even talk about the Emu deck. I'm like, yep, it's Emu. Boop. If you do not know how this deck works, then you're new, which is fine. It's fine to be a new player, but I cannot drive myself crazy by talking about the same 50 cards for the dozenth time. Yeah. I don't think that there's that many archetypes, though, right? Like, for example, Blue Purple Luffy is, and like even Blue Yellow Nami, right? They're like, here's some good cards for the archetype. Obviously, you play Girl. Obviously, you play like 9-drop Sanji and Luffy, but like they really let you get your own. They're like build your best from there, right? Like Mihawk also. Mihawk's like probably one of the most flexible decks in the game right now, right? There's just so many different ways you can build it. So I think that is something that's very impactful. Is that, you know, some decks, yeah, but like unironically, that's still kind of healthy for getting new players in the game. The amount of people I've told like in the last 6 months, like, hey, if you just want to get in the game, if you want to try something, the Emu deck doesn't necessarily teach you how to play the One Piece card game outright, but you can build the deck for 20 bucks and you can win a tournament if winning's not like my biggest propulsion for card games, which is good because I'm really bad at it, but there are people who do want to get into card games because they want the opportunity to win, right? So I think that's fine. I think Emu's probably still like net healthy for the game. I'm done with it. I'm very bored with seeing the same cards. So it was kind of like the same thing for like Green Purple Luffy, but even like Green Purple Luffy would have like some additional techs, or like there's some things that people would tech into. Emu, I haven't seen any techs, right? Like there's, I think, a little bit of techs in the OP13 meta, but like once Ground Death came out, like they're like, okay, cool, we clearly play 4 of this card, or maybe 3, some people play 3, but 3 or 4 of this card, 4 copies of it never existed, and we're pretty much good to go, you know? So it's interesting seeing that, but I think the only other deck, like maybe like Silver's Rayleigh, was like a little bit too monotone, but like that deck didn't exist as much, or like it didn't exist as long and as aggressively as Emu, so that could also just be a difference. Oh, what else? All right, so what do we need for this? We need 4 copies of Usopp, 3 copies of the Zoro. These are probably all in the other side. We need 1 pudding. I can get the pudding. Yeah, pudding over there, yeah. Surprised, I don't know where my Usos are. They should be over here. And there's pudding. Get the 1. And I'm gonna guess we have enough red rocks in here. All right. We need the Nami, which is in this deck for sure. My last 2 games of OP at locals were against 6 Life Luffy and Boa. How do we want to approach this next conversation? I can understand like why people have a the gears are turning very slowly and inefficiently, but they're turning. I think the way that I would probably want to say it is that, you know, there's been an issue with like yellow as a color in this game since OPO3, which, you know, especially we went back in time with like, you know, history. We're in OPO3 right now, right? It is not a deck that you. Sometimes you will just lose to it, but that's the card games in general, right? Like you have to, like you do have to like ground yourself and like just say like sometimes I will lose against this. But I think the biggest issue is that if you want to win against it, you have to play in a pretty lame way back, right? Like you, I find a lot of people being like, well, I wanted to play this game so I can attack with my boys, and I'm getting punished for attacking with my boys, right? And so. It's definitely more of like a customer satisfaction kind of thing, which doesn't mean it needs to be like gone from the game, or doesn't mean, you know, it's really how they want to approach it themselves. But like, these are the rest of these. What are these sleeves? These are the. Did I put these in the wrong ones? Hopefully not. Also, where'd that sleeve go? Oh, there it is. Oh, I hit it. Here, I can also maybe make this a little bit more seen. Maybe cut off a little bit too much. There you go. It's just some people play card games to have a good time, and yellow has a history of only letting the person playing the deck have a good time, right? Yeah, but like, I do think that there is like some. If a game becomes too deterministic, then you have like 80-20 matchups, and then it's just not fun, right? So like, I appreciate them having a way that adds like some variety to the game, right? Or like some chance. So like with yellow, you at least always have like, you feel like you have a chance of like not losing, right? But that comes at the cost of your opponent always having to be like, man, if I hit this card out of life, I just lose, right? Or if I don't recognize like what they can do or whatever, like that's just really tough. It's really tough to handle. So like, and again, like at a casual level, or if you're just, you know, grinding a lot of games, it's like maybe not as impactful. But if you're like on the bubble at like a regional kind of setting, your opponent's just like, well, I hit 0 cost, so I live, and then you lose. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just like, I did everything right, and I still lost, and that feeling doesn't always feel very good, right? All right, let's see how well this follows me. Look at me go. Yeah, there's this whole pile of just cards. What's in this one? Is this red, green? Okay, cool. This is part of my little alt deck. I guess I'll hold on to this. Oh, this is, yeah. And then I do think that there are, one, I need my Luffy. And then, I'll say it, I've got too many cards. Shocker. What else do I need? I have those already. I do need, I think these are just kind of random pack cards. Yep. These are, I think, Heroines things. Yeah. Which I guess I don't need anything strictly out of that. Oh, I've got an extra boa. That's kind. It makes me rich. What do I need out of the, I need another baby 5 also. End up seeing it. So this is the issue though. Like I just have like stack of cards and I'm like, oh, I'll just sort them later, and then like later never comes. And then I have this issue where I'm just like, I need to build decks, and like all these things are just everywhere. It's very, I'll say it, it's very irresponsible. But here I am. Are they playing the 0 cost of it? No, alright. I guess, you know, we have to have room from, I mean, with the Lin, like, it feels like a little bit better. Because you're not as, like, forced into it. I'm not playing 9-drop Luffy. That should be most of the things. I think the only thing I need left is the EBO4 Linlin, which, or sorry, EBO3 Linlin, which is right there. All right, I'm back. All right. If you guys don't like how I treat my cards, I'm sorry. I do treat some cards nice, but also, what's my last deck? Law should get the red one, so this is a good blue one. Any cards that I play with, I set aside as cards that I'm just going to keep and play with forever. So I really don't care about the quality of them. I mean, I care, like, I'm not trying to be like, I'm not trying to like throw them against the wall or anything, but I'm like, these are my cards. These are to make video content with, and it is more important to me personally to be able to find them, grab them, and then, you know, organize them, right? And it's very hard to organize them efficiently while also being able to, you know, not, you know, keep them in good condition. So I just, unless they're like very fancy alt arts, I usually just, this is how it goes, baby. I don't do the ripple shuffle though. I'm not that kind of guy. Yeah, if I quote unquote destroy cards, it's from neglect, not from going out my way to do it. All right, we need 3 Zoros. So like the only times I've seen like people like mildly cringe about it though is like the leaders. I make sure that they're in a fine spot. I recognize those. It is harder to ripple shuffle them for sure. For sure. My guess, and this is kind of based off kind of how it happened last year. If you guys remember the restriction list that happened last year, it was strictly for the English format, right? Like, what did they ban last year? They banned Gecko Moria. They banned, was Ice Age banned in that one? And Kingdom Come, right? Was there one more card that they banned? Most cards that just did not affect the future format, right? I have to go back and remember. I can't remember what they did. But I do think that there are some cards that need to go away. So, but yeah, starting April 1st, the format's going to be completely different, for better or for worse, right? I feel like there's a 4th card. I can't remember. There's Kingdom Come, Gecko Moria. Oh, Jinbei. Yeah, because Doflamingo was, at the time, pretty good in the English format. But I think like it's to the point where, yeah, Ice Age, yeah, and yeah, Kingdom Come or whatever I don't think that's the English official English name of it, but yeah, yellow red rock, right, in some circles, but like Gecko Moria I think was fine. I still think that Jinbei I'm surprised about that they banned an SR, but that card was also kind of obnoxious at the time. And we got the 1 pudding 4 2. Oh, I need to get the EBO 3. But yeah, I would kind of expect that the restriction list that they are announcing, they figured that out like months ago. And I think the idea is that like they're kind of at this weird spot where like they want to likely announce it a little bit earlier, but they are required to do it at the end of the year. You know what I mean? For whatever reason, because it's happened every year, they have said that they need a restriction list to happen on, you know, March 15th or whatever their world finals are, right? And for pretty much every game. So some of these might just be like bans that when they were figuring it out back in December, like they just were like, well, it needs to go. Which is why I also think that the Ace and Emu stuff's still probably going to get hit. So we'll see. But I'm definitely biased. But I think Ace and Emu both need to be still respected. Because I look at the stats every week, and I'm like, well, you know, other decks are being played, but like if we're looking at like hard stats, like Emu is still like the best deck in the game, right? Like if you just get like a competent person with Emu, they have a real good chance to do well. The only issues are like the Mihawk matchup and now Rosinante. Rosinante is actually keeping in check a little bit, but like the first couple weeks of OP14 were so fun because very few people were playing Ace Emu because those are like the only two decks that existed in the OP13 format. And then once the honeymoon period subsided, people were like, well, we got Bandai Card Game Fest and I want to win, so understandably, I'm not making fun of anyone, but I'm going to go back to Emu because that deck is very good at doing X2 over 10 rounds, so... which is very fair. But I think this deck, this format's still pretty healthy. I think there's like a little bit of an issue where it is maybe not an issue, but it is deceptively wider than it looks. Mostly because like all the yellow decks are more or less the same. They're more or less taking it. They have the very similar pattern, right? Because if we're really boiling it down to the meta is like a yellow deck. It can be Stardeck 29, it can be Boa or Nami. They are functionally very similar decks. There's Ace and Emu. There's Mihawk and Rosinante. I think that accounts for most of the meta right now. And if you guys don't agree, that's fine. But that's just my opinion, man. After, you know, committing to so much of this stuff for too long. But I guess I'll add one more Thunder Bagua. So I like the 2-2 split. Yeah, I think I Am Whitebeard can be pair banned or whatever, restricted or changed how it works. I think it's still fine. Honestly, Ace is still like a really good leader, and but you know, going and the other thing is like with Ace, you can definitely see like you are so hurt. Like the difference between it going first and second is so wide when it comes to how good the deck is, right? So I find that really interesting too. All right, let me get one more copy of a Thunder Bagua. I gotta play it before it rotates out, right? So we gotta do that. Where are you? What are these cards? Oh, are these? Oh, okay. Are these the? Yes. Okay. No. Wait, are they? Are these the? Yes. Okay. Aha. Okay. Oh. Whew. Okay. Long story short, this is how disorganized I am. I went to Canada a month ago. I played in a big event there. I got top 8. This is not me bragging, but I got all these packs as my prizing. And I was trying to find some stuff the other day, and I could not find these cards. Probably they're a lot of these have kind of gone down in price. They're not like anything like super crazy, but like probably the most impactful one was like, I need another one of these Misfortunes. Roz is actually a really good card right now. What else? The Progress Day has been seeing like a little bit of play. Nocturne's actually kind of good right now too. Invert Timelines is actually like a good of card. I got some fun stuff too. Like I got like another Calm Rune. I also got like the Leona alt art. I could not find it. I'm like, did I put them in a box, and did I throw the box away? So that's cool. I'm glad I found those cards that I had sworn that I would just never see again. So that's fun. Anyways, what was I doing? I was looking for cards. What cards was I was looking for purple stuff, which I thought I put right here. Yes, I did. I just took most of it out. Bam. Thunderbogwa. All right. Okay. Well, there goes that one. And there we go. All right. That is 2 decks built. It has only taken me an hour. But can you guys, like, I mean, you got everyone here, I think. I would hope. You guys can tell me that you're lurking and that this is not correct. But I think everyone here builds decks, right? I think that's a pretty fair and safe assumption right now. And most people just build like 1 or 2 decks, right? I think like most sane people, they usually commit to 1 or 2 decks a format. And like, this is a deck that I'm playing, and that's fine, right? But when I have to build, again, during the week, 10, 6 plus, yeah, I have like 9 decks built, right? But like with few overlap, right? Like every format, because we're approaching OP 15 too for One Piece. I have to be like, I have to just break all my decks. I have to put them all away, and then Wednesday Night One Piece comes out, and I have to like, especially with Wednesday Night One Piece, the first one, where we have to do all the 16s. Also, let me see, when's the next? This is Wednesday night. We might have to have another off week. But maybe we can. We'll see. Sorry, I'm looking at the calendar for how the bi-weekly happens. We can do Wednesday Night One Piece for OP 15 like on the 8th. It's probably fine. I usually like to do it the pre-release weekend, but we can just do it on the full weekend. That's fine. Okay, one more deck. Should we use? Yeah. I'm just gonna use the same sleeves. I don't like using for Wednesday Night One Piece. I do like having some of the fancier sleeves. And if we are going to have to say, we're gonna have to say goodbye to Trafalgar Law, right? So we can have him sailing away over here, and we can have one less list. But also, let me my guest for this upcoming Wednesday. I need to see if they have any girl promos. If you guys are in LA, or if you guys are in Las Vegas, one of my favorite coffee shops in the whole wide world, outside of Steve's Espresso in Tempe, Arizona, is Horror Vibes. It started out here in LA. They've got they branched into a new location in Las Vegas. I got it both times I was out there in the last 2 weeks. Highly recommend it. It is my coffee go-to for stream days. They know me too well. And they did not pay for that endorsement, promise. Or at least not directly. Sometimes I get coffee discounts. But that's just for me, alright? Don't go there expecting that. Unless you go there like 4 times a week like I do. Then maybe. Just tell them Eggman sent you. And they'll be like, I don't know who that is. Please pay full price for this coffee. All right. So last deck we are building real quick before we do like the giant unbuilding session of like a bunch of cards. I think it's probably also going to be safe to say we're unbuilding the Kinemon deck over there. We'll probably keep the Zoro deck intact-ish in the new Gate deck. Because I want to do... I think next... it's very weird. It's very weird for One Piece in... let's see. One Piece in the... their OP4 format was really interesting. is very bizarre. Because they had a ban list with 1 month left in the format for all of November, which included the restriction list, which included with the ultimate deck, right? Star Deck 10. Because we had Star Decks 1, 2, 3, 4. 5 was the purple one, 6 was the navy one, 7 was the big mom one. And then Star Decks 8 and 9 were the black Luffy leader and the yellow Yamato leader, which are in contention of some of the worst meta-relevant Star Decks in the game, right? We ended up getting some cards from... what are the best cards? There was a Shirahoshi from the Black Luffy deck, and then there was also the arrow from Star Deck, the yellow one, right? Star Deck 9, and that's pretty much it. The super rares didn't really do anything. What was the second super rare for the Luffy one? There was the Big Shanks, which had like a fun combo with like with one of the leaders. I think with the leader itself from Star Deck 8. And what is the second one? Cannot remember. Because then there was like the Star Deck, was it 14 Luffy? The mono black one as well. Then you got like the Star Deck that had some things. But what was the second super rare? Oh, Laboon. Was it Laboon? No, it was the Uta. The Uta. I remember. It's the 2-drop Uta that saw some play in Rob Lucci like a year and a half later. That was really it, right? So that Yamato deck. Honestly, obviously, like purple Shanks is probably the least relevant deck they've ever made. But at least like the 8-drop from that still sees some use sometimes, and the 2K Searcher saw some usage for a little bit. I don't know why I'm trying to dunk on this deck so hard, but that's where we're at. I found it very relevant too, apparently. All right, there's that. So yeah, I'm just gonna unsleep all of these. I see some very expensive cards. Ha. Goodbye, PV leader. Hello, Trafalgar Law leader. Uneroded for the flex. All right. Let's see. So for this deck, also let me correct this. We've got, yeah, I need to get the OP14 Luffy. I don't know if I have 4 copies of that card. I guess we'll find out. But we definitely need the Bonnie. Nami Searcher's not needed. I also don't play this Trafalgar Law, which is crazy. Maybe there's less cards than I thought that I actually would use in this. I got my foil, my Jolly Roger foil. Otama, like the least impressive foil for the deck. The Bonnie, the Restand. I'm only playing 2 Restand. Do we need the Gum Gum Jet Pistol, chat? No, we do not. We definitely do need more Otamas. I think that's it. I think these are the only cards that are still relevant. And spoilers, I guess it's only Bonnie. I wouldn't be surprised if they decided to either remake or re-include Otama. It's probably one of the best 2Ks that's ever existed in the game, but that's also kind of an argument to not include it. But this card's been always super good, and I just like the theme for it, right? Will the Eternal format be very popular? I really don't know. I will say how would I want to approach this topic. One, I think that I'm very bad at knowing what I'm going to be interested in until I get it into my hands. So I would say that the Eternal format doesn't immediately, like if I only did One Piece stuff, I think I'd be really hyped for the One Piece format. You know, we've had like some mildly alternative formats in the last couple weeks, right? We've had the Red Bull stuff, we've had the Heroine Cups, all stuff that's really cool. And I don't want to like try to downplay it, but I just like do so many things that it's very difficult for me to like stray from the path from like the, you know, the main branch of what the game looks like, right? That's also why I don't normally do as much like OP15 content, or Japanese content, until like the week or two before it comes out in North America, right? But I think there are just a lot of people who are really interested in it. The fact that it is also just like kind of a unique format that you can discover. I know that the prizing, a lot of people are very excited for that. So all in all, I think the answer is it will be popular. I think the only thing that is a little bit to be decided or to be determined is what. I mean, I think we've seen like some hints of like what the 2026 regional and like competitive season is going to look like for One Piece and stuff. But I think the biggest thing is that how are they going to do it in conjunction, right? I would argue that even in the past 2025 year, right, you could make the argument that there are not enough One Piece regionals for the standard format, right? I think there are a lot, and honestly, I think there's a fine amount, but there are some people who weren't able to get into as many as they wanted to, right? And so with that in mind, like, it's really tough to say, like, how are we going to split it that we're going to have being able to support both, as well as supporting every other Bandai card game that exists right now, right? Currently, we have One Piece, we've got Dragon Ball Masters, we've got Dragon Ball Fusion World, we've got Digimon, we've got Gundam, right? Already 5. There's probably some that I'm missing. Union Arena, 6. They're doing Gundam assembly stuff, which I don't know if that is like this, but like one thing that I kind of, and like there was like this thing for Digimon for a little bit. The Ultimate Cups. So they're essentially the treasure cups, right? But the Ultimate Cups were a different format. That you would have your own Battle Spirit Saga. I do know that one. I made a point to say current games, but I cannot forget Battle Spirit Saga. There are Battle Spirit Saga cards literally right behind me that are still on the shelf here. But what was I trying to say? But yeah, I think it really needs to be determined, like how supported the game. It really just depends on if Bandai will how much they sanction the events. So, which is going to be tough to determine beforehand. But I know like the Yamato prizing and other stuff people are really excited for. Without being like super pessimistic, I mean, if they have events where people can make money, people will try very hard to make money. But we'll see. We'll see what that leads to be, I guess, to be determined. But I think it will be enough. Yeah. The other thing that I went to the Riftbound event this past weekend. A weekend ago. And it was kind of surreal, especially like in contrast for like Bandai Card Game Fest, right? Where they support all the games, they have all the stuff, which is a big undertaking, right? Like it is really, really tough, I think, for Bandai Card Game Fest to come together, where they have representation for all the game, right? All the games that they're currently supporting right now, which again is a lot as someone who makes YouTube content and has mildly abandoned half of them. At this point, I'm down to the point where I want to make sure that my website is up to date, but I really can't do all the games that they have pumping out right now, right? But because of that, like there still has to be like some kind of divided focus, right? We kind of saw it with like how the live stream has to happen, where it's really hard to like juggle between the games, right? But like in comparison for Riftbound, like they don't have the same issue, right? Their solutions are different because their problems are different, right? But it was really just, especially as I've been just like, I've had this issue where like every Bandai card game is like kind of in a good format right now, so there's just a lot of games to play and content to make. It was just really like relaxing to be in a game where I'm not as involved with anymore, where I can play like Riftbound a little bit more casually. Because I'm not a super big content creator in that space right now. And the other thing is that like I just have to build like a Riftbound deck and then I'm good to go, and then I'm just surrounded by Riftbound people, you know what I mean? So that makes it a lot easier, where everyone's just playing the same game and we're just trying like different formats and all that kind of stuff. I think that makes a difference on like how obviously the complexity from like the Riftbound side is less, because you just have to have judges that only know the one game. Which is still kind of complex to do because that game's really, really hard right now. But it was fun because I'm just like I played it in the pre-regional Friday. I went 4-2. and I was able to get some prize wall tickets. Saturday, I played 8 rounds of Swiss, which took 12 hours. And I lost my last round, so I couldn't go to day 2. But day 2, I just played a bunch of side events and had fun and, played games with my friends, which, I can't always say that I get to do that with a lot of games, because like I just feel like I'm pulled in so many directions a lot of the time that and even just to be like somewhat relevant in like every card game and be up to date with it, right, is a big thing. So, but the game is new, and they have like I've been around Bandai card games enough where translation issues were going to exist, and I think one of the plagues of Riftbound has been like the inconsistency on translation sometimes, which is tough, especially like Chinese to English, where the languages don't always line up magically. So, but it's been fun. Don't want to bother streamer if it's said already. I don't even know. I believe it's like this week. I know Batsu's been trying to push it out, so I would assume about this week. This next week is probably going to be my last stream session with like OP14 as we know it, and I'll probably be like the weekend after Worlds. I'll probably be jumping right to OP15 stuff. But I honestly I think most people also, I would assume that your understanding and most people are understanding too. It's just kind of like the Wild West for like formats for the next couple weeks, because we kind of have like 3 different formats to go around. But yeah, it's a lot. Yeah, but Riftbound has been refreshing, and it was a game that I wasn't expecting to cover and do stuff with. Nerf Chaos, right? As someone who has just like a nasty amount of chaos stuff next to him right now. I owned 2 seals before Spirit Forge came out, so I had to buy another one, which was fine. And then I pulled one of these, and then I wanted to play like a little bit of Rek'Sai, and these Chaos runes are calling my name, even though most of them are just going to be recycled back into my rune deck. But it has been fun. It has been fun, especially with how interactive that game is. Let me actually start building this law deck, though. You mostly need like a bunch of OP14 things, and then 3 kids. Where are these ones? I don't know how rare of an my experience was on this side, because I can definitely see or have people tell me they had a different experience on this. Obviously, like they need to figure out like their organized play schedule stuff, because they were like unironically like 90-minute rounds, which took a long time. But like every person I played with was really sociable, right? We could have like a little back and forth. Like we were playing, they're intense games, but like we could still like chat back and forth, right? It was just like a really unique position. I'm not sure if that's because like I was in the X1, X2 territory for most of the weekend, where I would say people are a little bit less competitive. But and also the fact that this is an observation. This isn't me being like sarcastic or anything. But I'm obviously like less known on the Riftbound side, which is fine and how I would expect it. I did have a lot of people come up to me, and they were super nice, and it was really fun to talk to them. But like, to be in a card game where like I'm less known was actually really refreshing, because it's just there's just like less expectations, I guess. But yeah, but that was the other thing too, because I was playing Annie that weekend, and Annie is an aggressive deck. It's kind of it's similar to like Zoro, and so is Rayleigh, right? But what happened is that my games would take usually 30 to 40 minutes. So I can verifiably say that during that weekend, I spent more time waiting for the round to end than playing the game, which isn't like a great ratio. And I know that it was a decision by me to play a really fast deck, but it was brutal. It was brutal. But luckily there's like things to do. I can hang out. There's a lot of people to talk to as well. But I don't know, I had a good time. Is all I'm trying to say. And it was really refreshing to see a different company do things and see how they do it, and the pros and cons for all of that too. There were a lot of Bandai judges there too, though, which I thought was really interesting. So, I mean, obviously you have to get judges from different games, and there's going to be people who can do both. Obviously, I make content for both Riftbound and not Riftbound games, but I definitely saw more people that I knew than I was expecting. A lot of like also like old Dragon Ball players and the like. It was really cool to see like how many people I actually knew who were there. All right, let me get my OP14 rares. Hopefully they're in here. I think they are. But I will say, like, the other thing is, like, I'm not usually a big fan of like the 2v2 format stuff. But I played one of the 2v2s at the event, and honestly, I had a really good time. I had a lot more fun than I thought I was gonna have. Like, not that I went into the weekend with low expectations, but it was just cool to just be able to vibe, play games, play with other people who just enjoy playing the game, and not have to be. I don't think I probably put this on myself more than I should. Probably like a little bit unhealthily, but you know, with the fact that I'm like a moderately known figure in the community, right? Like I have to make sure that you know, there's like a bit of onus. I don't care if I lose, which is good because I lose a lot, but I think people are like, oh, look, it's Eggman, and it's just like, oh, he better win. I probably put that in my head too much, but to be in a game where like I can just be like, I can play the deck that I want to, and there's like no pressure to do well with, is also just additionally fun. Obviously, I want to do well, but it's you know, the pressure's less, I guess. I don't know what I'm saying. You guys tricked me into talking about my personal feelings. I don't know how you guys do it by just not chatting, but it works every time. All right, Otama at 4 copies. We've got Bonnie at 4 copies. But yeah, I think the only issue with Riftbound is just how long it takes. But I don't know if there's an easy way to fix that issue. I think it's just a consequence of how the game works. And it's manageable, but I think the other thing, like a lot of people, do you think Blue Yellow Nami is actually a great pick? Great's probably, I don't want to like oversell how good it is by using the word great. I think great might be a little bit of a BO1 with pre-sighting. I mean, that's fair. But then, like, how do you do battlefields, right? I think that's, like, they have to, like, determine that. But, like, day 1, best of 1 pre-sight, and then you get to day 2. But what was I saying? But I think the deck is fine. I think the deck is good. What I was going to try to say is that I don't think any deck is, like, great right now. Which means that if you believe in a deck, I think you can go a long way. I know we just did the power ranking video today, and we showed, you know, the top 10 decks of the week, but I sincerely think that there are more than 10 viable decks in the format right now. So, which means that you should, if there's a deck that you really believe in, especially if it's a deck that people aren't, you know, teching against or don't maybe not have experience against, you can go a long way. So, if you feel confident with Blue Yellow Nami, I will give you, I mean, you don't need my permission, but what's the better word? I will give you my blessing that yes, it is a deck that is good enough to top the event, and you should play it if you're confident in it. Turn clock like competitive chess. Yeah, I've never been like a super big fan of that, but I can understand like why that can be helpful in some situations. You're watching Ezreal taking a 10-minute turn. Can only be so interactive. Yeah, I mean Nami's a yellow deck, so you can just you're good to go. Just let him take the wheel. All right. I need 2 copies of Corona, or sorry, 2 copies of Apu. Two copies of, let's see. Okay, Apu's from EVO1, yeah? Yes. X Drakes from Star Deck 24. I need OPO1 for 2 copies of Killer. Oh boy. Killer's not a rare, right? It's just a uncommon? Yeah, just an uncommon. Yeah, so honestly, I would say probably the biggest culprit of like overtime stuff are people getting deck checked, people getting extensions, and probably stream games. I think like I think very few times when there's like a 30-minute plus OT, it's not just like 2 dudes who have been like on game 3 turn 3 for 30 minutes. I think it's more like some judge deck checking things, or someone got like a really massive time advantage or what, a time extension or something. I would sooner believe that is the culprit for it. But I don't know sincerely. But I would moderately assume it has more to do with like the production side, which is not like me like saying like was it being mean and accusing them like, oh, they need to do their job better or anything like that. It's just with how production works, especially for something like Riftbound, it's just going to have to eat some time. So if you're playing a really high stakes game, which also people tend to play slower and more nervous on stream, you're just going to have games that drag on. So I think that just, again, comes with the territory in some regard. Oh, no, we're fine. Because I need Star Deck 20. Which one's the bonding one? Like 26? 24. Dang. I should ask Nikki, the logod expert on his list. Yeah. With his increasingly degraded set 1 base rarity law leader. He came over one time and used it, and I'm like, man, that guy has seen some action. That is a used leader. Perona's from OP12, right? Probably. Yeah, some people do. I get it. I understand, like, the... oh, this is pure BO2, and then there's OP12 right here. Bam. I don't think I need any pure BO2 things, no, but I do need some EBO1. Alright, 3 Peronas. My 4 Bonnies. There we go. There we go. Do I unmake my emu deck? I probably should, right? Probably should. I think though, like, there's a lot of decision making. I would say that there is moderately a reaction and a decision based off every move that happens in the Riftbound card game. So it is mildly more understandable why, like, the gameplay is a little bit slower. Because, like, you initiate a combat, you can, like, react to it, you can, like, let it roll. Like, there's just, like, a lot of back and forth. Which offers, like, a good amount of... one of my least favorite things is when people, like, talk to me, like, during a serious game, they try to joke around a lot. But I find myself, like, with Riftbound being a lot more, like, just tell them, like, hey, please don't hit me with a thermal beam. Please be cool. And they're like, I'm going to play the thermal beam. I'm like, oh, come on, man. Like, you played 2 already. You got the 3rd one. So, which is, I do think, yeah, the tournament format needs to look a little bit work. I know that they're changing in China too, right? I know they had an announcement for it. But I generally do appreciate games. Like, I could say, I wouldn't be able to confidently say that after playing like a whole day Saturday of One Piece in like a tournament setting, if I was feeling up for side events on like the Sunday. But for Riftbound, I'm like, yeah, I definitely will keep playing this. And it wasn't until like late Sunday that I'm like, all right, I'm good. I have my fill. I've played enough Riftbound for a weekend, but it took like a day later than I thought it would be, which was a welcome surprise. Definitely a welcome surprise. I need my Dead Man's games, and then all those. What do we miss? Oh, we need our What's in here? Oh, the EBO1 Cavendish. Why do the OP10 SRs keep falling over? I must need to give more cards in there. But I'm likely going to Atlanta. And I'm waitlisted currently for it. Well, there they are. I was like, where are my Cavendishes? I kind of need those. But instead of playing like the tournament format, there's a good chance that I will just hang out and play side events. I do kind of hope that there is like a bit of there might be like a restriction change or something into that one, just so the meta is like a little bit different. And I think most people will agree that Chaos is, you know, the best color in the game by just a little bit. But we'll see. Riftbound hasn't come out in Korea. Oh, I didn't know that. Yeah, that'll clearly be very good. I mean, anything with the League IP will be very big in Korea. Alright, what do I need? I need 4 Kid Killer, Searcher, and 2 X-Drake, which are both in the Star Deck one. Oh, okay. How long have we been streaming? Almost 2 hours, an hour and a half. Dang. I was hoping I was going to be moving a little faster. But clearly it's chat's fault for asking insightful questions and distracting me. I could have been done 30 minutes ago. You guys kind of sabotage me at every turn. That's not true. Please don't leave me alone with my thoughts. Is beige better? I guess it's not slash attribute, so it doesn't get found by Perona, but everything else it's better, right? Because you'll have 6 or more cards rested, and like you get the guaranteed draw one, trash one. I'll think about it. Instead of killer, right? Beige blocker might just be better. I mean, killer's like better, I guess, like strictly only early game. And the fact that slash type might be useful for Perona. How many slash type searchers do we have? We have 2, 6, including the X-Drake. 14, 16, 20 with the X-Drake, and then 22 with the thing. So I mean, we can go down to 20. We'd still hit quite often. What do you guys think? Beige? I'm thinking about it. You have 6 or more rested card, draw 1, trash 1. You don't get the draw uptick, but you get the guaranteed. Seems better. Beige. 2 beiges. What if I do a 1-1 split of both? I'll think about beige. I'll take him out. And then I'll forget to put him back in. And then we'll have more sorting to do in the future. And the cycle continues. Blocker just good. I do agree that like killer being a blocker is really good, but most of the time I just can't afford to get the Dawn underneath it. And even if I do, they have ways to KO it, right? So like the +1 card advantage is less so the important thing of killer. It's more so just the drawing and trashing. But we already get that from like Bonnie, right? I don't think it being a 1k leader or 1k blocker makes a difference. If you're searching your searchers, you're having a bad time. What do you mean? Curly to Dawn? No, I think we're fine. I think like the search engine stuff for it is pretty clean. We have 2 of these, and then we need 4 more cards. Is that right? Oh, and 1 more card because I forgot the sleeve here. Yeah, because we need 2 round tables, 2 Dead Man's games, and then that's it. Which are both part of the red Luffy deck. All right, beige, you can stay out of the box for now. All right. Where is... This is the Croc deck that we can get rid of. This is a... I guess I'll keep my Rosie deck around. And then, because I'll probably be playing that every once in a while. And then we'll do... Need 2 of these round tables that are leaving the format. And then 2 of our pretty boy Dead Man game. Sorry. The Demon or 9-sword style Astra Blades drawn Dead Man's game. I will play these 2. Yeah, Curly Dan only finds our 1-drop Luffy and our Otama, right? Doesn't have enough search targets. I guess also the killer, but even 10's not enough. Curly Dan only made sense if we were also playing like 1-drop Nami Searcher. The red one, which we were not. Even though that card's in the game forever. Which is definitely a choice. Alright, well, we've got Law built. So we should be good. Okay. Let me... One more card I needed to find was the Nami card. And that is... It was banned for 3 weeks, and then they... Now it's with an Uno reverse card. It is in the game forever because they made a manga printing. Oh, yeah. Oh, I need to make sure that Yomi's not messaging me.
You go ahead and go first.
Sorry. I'm just looking, I got some... I'm trying to figure out the hyping business on YouTube. I know some people have hyped... I'll be honest, and this could 100% be my side. It's not also like an issue where I'm upset about it either, but you got a metal... Oh, nice. You got there. No, you need like to have more. Your searchers want to find searchers early game, so make 5 cards on there. What was I saying though? Yeah, there's like the hype business with YouTube. But the people who've been liking the history videos they really like the history videos. So, which is enough for me to continue doing it. The viewership is less than I was expecting it to be, but I think like those kind of like long form videos are never going to take it off immediately. So, but honestly, Sos and I have been having enough fun with like recording and going back in time that we're going to be doing them anyways. But it's been really kind for the people who have been like, yeah, we love this show, and sincerely, I love playing card games against Sos. Sos and I just have like a really good back and forth. It's really fun. It's really fun to play with him. So to have excuses to do that have been really nice. So, but the people there's a lot of people who have been hyping up either verbally or whatever the system for YouTube is. So but I don't, if you guys know how the hype system works, right? It's something like you get to hype a video a week or something, and then like that helps you with the algorithm or something. But I don't remember, I don't know the specifics for it. Do not know the specifics for it. See, Justin has 2. If you... Let's see. There we go. What was I saying? Yeah, I mean, this isn't... I don't normally, like, verbally say who my guest is every week, but our guest this week's going to be John Suko, for Wednesday night, so it's really fun having him over as well. He's definitely one of my favorite Like the 3 guys I got for like the 50th, Zell, Justin, and Sos. It's been really, I've been really fortunate that they've been working with me and we make the content for it, so it's been really fun. All right, well, I think we've gotten to the point of the stream where I get to, what time is it? Almost 4. We've been streaming for an hour and 45. I'll do the, I guess a couple decks I need to unsleeve. And then we can kind of start. I guess we're only doing One Piece stuff today, which is fine, because it's been always like the largest amount of cards I need to sort at any given time. But I know I was only going to make a dent for this, but honestly, just being able to commit myself to this time. We'll see if we do these like once a month or so, because these have been really. I enjoy these. I know I don't get as much viewership for it, but that's not. Viewership's like rarely my priority for anything that I make. If I wanted like better viewership, I wouldn't be making card game videos. as much as I love them, right? As much as I love them, I know where my lane is, and what it's like moving forward. I said that I would be unsleeving things, not just randomly putting things in a pile. But that is, which just means that the people who watch, I just super appreciate it. For sure. But I think you guys would be, I don't know if proud's the right word. Maybe not even. I think you guys would like lose respect for, I don't know. I'm not sure what I'm saying. But I guess I've never been like, excuse me, do you know who I am? I'm the Eggman. Never, not once. My favorite thing that happens, it happens every time. It happened in Vegas for Riftbound, where I will just be talking, and I'll have someone walk by me, they'll hear me talk, and then I can see it in their face, like their face scrunches. They're like, "Why does that guy sound so familiar? Why do I listen to this guy?" And I'm like, I know who this is. Like, who is this guy? And I was kind of cheating at Riftbound, where I was wearing my Eggman Events hat. So they just have to look at my hat, and then they don't know who I was. But in other situations, it's less so. Like I'm not as like I rarely wear anything Eggman Event branded, which is I probably need to wear it a little bit more. But they'll be like, oh, I knew you sounded familiar, or like, it has to be you. Clearly it's you. Like it's so funny when that happens all the time. All the time's not enough, but like it's too much. But it's always a secret joy when it happens to me, where I would say that it's easy to recognize someone by their face, but to recognize someone by their voice means that you listen to my content a little bit more. You know what I mean? Or like I would say that is a more personal, what's the word? Not attachment, more personal way to recognize someone than knowing what they look like. All right, we're unmaking the Croc deck. I'm sorry for Croc enjoyers. I know a lot of people had a lot of fun with this deck, but I don't know about it, man. I don't know about it in this upcoming set. I do not think that I'm the only one who's going to be unsleeving this deck, but we'll see. Oh, we do have something fun to do to end the stream, actually. I think I'm just going to have enough time to like unsleeve a couple decks, because I'm also... but you guys can be part of a live recording of a video I'm going to make. I got a box of a Chinese set of Spirit Forge from EXP Share Collectibles, and they want me to promote that you can buy these on their web shop, which also the Chinese cards are 100% legal for English. So there you go. Yeah, which are legal, 100%. 100%. Yeah, big deal. Yeah, as you can, I mean, here, my entire deck. Actually, they're not in this one. But I was originally playing a deck where, like, I was playing Annie, and I had 3 of the Ezreals in there, and I needed them, so I just got Chinese copies for a price, and then I didn't even end up using them, even though they were like more. They cost more than the rest of my deck, which was kind of sad. But it's fine. I just have them now, and now I'll likely be playing. I think I'm going to be playing some blue-purple Ezreal. I might try to go to. I don't know where I'd go to, but I'm unusually free on Sunday, so I might try to find somewhere to play Riftbound on Sunday this weekend. We'll see. We'll see how that goes. All right. Well, there goes the deck for Crocodile. I might just be done for sorting for a little bit. I know we only did like 2 hours of it, but there's that. Also, Dwarf Commander, hope you're doing well. I know you are always a lurker, and you've been more or less lurking for 5 years. I don't want to call you out too much, but it's true. But I appreciate you stopping by. I hope you're having a good one. I hope you're doing well. I was saying it earlier, there's a good chance we do more Digimon content when the online client comes out. So I hope you are excited about the potential of me playing Digimon suboptimally. All right. Yeah, let's just end this off. Let's just do a box opening. How about that? I'm gonna move some stuff around. So I can just oh, man. Got too many cards on this dang table. Too many cards. That's fine. It's my cross to bear. Fiora is really good. The only issue with Fiora that I have found is that you will sometimes you just have no draw engine and then you lose because you don't get to draw any cards or cycle any cards. That's been the only issue I've had with the deck. Is that it is mildly inconsistent when it comes to... Ooh, I did not drop the sleeves. I was very close to dropping the sleeves, but I did not drop the sleeves. Yeah, it's just tough to get that consistently. All right. Okay. Yeah, well, purple has their entire deck. Yeah. No, I agree. Unless you're Annie. Then you only have 2 cards in your deck, but you have 2 runes open, so those 2 cards can do something. So, all right. Well, I'll hide this combined chat. I will likely zoom in just a little bit more. That's fine. We'll put it here. I will turn off the music. I know you guys enjoy the music, but I'm sorry. And then stop recording and start recording. All right, we're gonna record opening a box of this so I can put this on, re-upload it to YouTube afterwards. But if you guys want any Chinese boxes, highly recommend EXP Share Collectibles. They've obviously been partnered with me for a long time. Really appreciate that they've helped me with a lot of products for tournaments that we've been running too. And I wouldn't be able to do this stuff without them. So give them some support if you guys haven't already. You can find a link to them in the description on the YouTube side. If you need the link on the Discord, on the Twitch side, you can just use EXP Share as the command, and we'll get into this. So we'll start it in 3, 2. Hey everyone, Eggman here with another video, and today we've got a sponsored video from EXP Share Collectibles. They sent us a Chinese box of Spirit Forge for the Riftbound card game. I haven't opened any Chinese product for this game. I've gotten a couple of Chinese cards since I did need some Ezreals for the Las Vegas Regional Open, but I haven't really done any box openings for this. So I appreciate them sending it to me. If you guys want to check out their website, you can find it linked in the description with my link as well. And then, if you guys just need boxes to open, especially since, Chinese cards are full fully legal to play in the English version of the Riftbound card games. These get, you know, a good amount of value just because you can get some cards that are usable. So there could be some runes I could be using, right? There even like an alternate art leader or legend would be really cool. So I'm looking forward to seeing what's in there. And then I don't even know what the ratios for the Chinese version is. So, you know, maybe I could have done a little bit more research, but I just wanted to have a lazy Friday box opening as well. So there it is there. We'll get the box open. And I think we've got, I think it's 12 packs. It's a little bit less than like the English version, but they're like wider packs. I know that there's different ways to do this, but we've got 1, 2, yeah, there's 6 packs, but they're noticeably like chunkier, I think. I think they have more cards per pack here. So there's that. They also have like this really cool divider in the middle here, which you do not see on the English versions of really any card game. So it's cool to see that divider there. So yeah, we've got 12 packs and we'll see what we've got it. We'll also have a fun game of how much does Eggman remember the name of some of these cards and or confirming that I do not speak Chinese. So we got the punch first though. We've got the assault one. Yeah, this is a bad idea. Why am I just trying to remember how these Chinese cards work? But we've got these uncommons here. The Rune Runner, all right, as an uncommon in Chinese is cool. We do have, I actually don't know what card this is. It's a rare, another rare, and then we do have the runes here. So I'll definitely like, it's cool to have like some Chinese runes running around too. I don't think this is a particularly good pack, except for there is like a fun thing to say, you know, having a Chinese version of like Rune Runner, and some of your opponents like, what's it say? It's like, you can't do nothing. You have to trust. Like you can't target. You know, this is unaffected. You know what I mean? Like that is a novelty. I will contest for that. All right, pack number 2. Let's see what we got. All right. Ooh, the Called Shot. Do love to see that one. All right, Dragged Under. We've got the Brutalizer. Ooh, a foil Rune Runner Chinese. All right, this is already a good box. We've got the really big Yordle. We do have the, oh, I forgot the name of this, but the make 2 tokens card. Obviously, has been really good in Draven as well. But the foil Chinese Rune Runner, that's really nice. I will unironically use that version of it. Just be like, again, I think it's really funny to have that Ferris Forerunner. Thank you, Zamtech. We are technically live recording this, though chances are you're watching this after the fact. But I do appreciate the little bit of help from chat on there. All right, we've got our uncommons here. We've got a foil version of, I think it's a Fey Porter is the name of this. We do have the Orn here. We've got the I remember his name. Why don't Rumble, the Rumble rare here. So, and then we do have, you know, there's also like something fun about a Chinese, like, you know, mech token as well. If there's any gold tokens, I'll definitely try to use like the Chinese versions of those too. There we go there. Now let me get the Ferris Forerunner there as well. What was the foil for this one? Honestly, a Chinese version of Call Shot's pretty fun too. We got our rares. Let me just take these cards out. I'm gonna take this card out. Oh, and we had the cask there. There we go. All right. There. I always have a hard time like opening Riftbound packs quickly, just because they do have like you do want to like sort out the different components of the packs that you've gotten so far. But we'll have foils and fun cards, which, you know what, I'm just gonna put Called Shot there. Don't worry about it before I forget. All right. I don't know if we're gonna get 3 Called Shots out of a box, but if we do, very nice. All right. Here we go. We got the Plundering Poro. What else we got? We got the Poro Snack. We've got, ooh, a foil version of Dragged Under. We've got the Lucian here. Oh, we do have a, you know, I do need this card. I don't, it's the signature spell here. I only have for the Chem Baroness, right? I do not know, I cannot tell you what this card does in English off the top of my head, so I definitely don't know what it does in Chinese, but I know I only have 1 copy of this card, so that is a boon for me. And there it is. I don't know if I'd use like a Chinese version. I mean, if I got like an over number, I'd definitely use a Chinese legend, but I do think like the legends probably need to be, your legend should probably be in English if you have an English copy. All right, we've got the Bushwhack, and we got the Gem Jammer. Love this guy. We've got, what else? The Doran's Ring. Ooh, the Token Generator. the foil here. Oh, we've got a legend to go with this. All right. And oh, we got two, we got an alt art and a legend in the same one. Interesting. Yeah, I guess this is a Renata box, right? Very good. If only I liked Renata a little bit better, but that's okay. We got the legend and the signature for it, so there we go there. And a foil here. All right, last pack on this side. Trying to think like what cards I actually need. I think I need another copy of Spinning Axe. Obviously, I'll take any copy of Defiant Dance for Aurelia, since I have currently 0, despite opening like 4 boxes, so I will definitely take that. All right, we got the bow. All right, we've got the Draven. All right, we've got the, oh, I forgot the name of this one, but this lets you like use your Conquer effects and not Conquer effects. And then we've got the, ooh, the Mind alt art. I will definitely take this as well. Very nice. Very, very, very nice. But yeah, Draven Legend in Chinese is really cool. And then also just another, I do not have a playset of this card, so, but you know, there's been combos with Lucian where you can use this, so, you know, you get the extra point after conquering instead of just holding, so that's pretty good. And I still don't have enough runes for things, so there it is. But so far we've gotten, you know, a weird amount of hits, I would say, for just 6 packs. So I am the one in the dark. I don't know the ratios. You guys are finding out with me. I would assume that if you're watching this, you don't know the ratios. Moderately so. And if you do, you've already made a comment in the comments below and telling me clearly these are the ratios. I can't believe you didn't know them. But we've got this. We got 2 copies of this guy, and then also the Rek'Sai rare here. 2 of those out of the same box is kind of interesting. We got some more of these guys. I wonder if we just got all of our hits already. All right. But it is fun that these cards are fully playable for the English version. I've played a lot of card games in the past, and usually they're a little bit, you know, they're less lenient about like the English thing. We got 2 Ferris Forerunners in Chinese. That's crazy. And the Fiora, which I think we get this one off of the Star Deck too. I think we get both these out of the Star Decks that exist, if I remember correctly. This one from the Rumble one, this one from the Fiora one, but we'll take it. 2 Ferris Forerunners is interesting off the rips. And then we do have like the foil version of the library there. Might not be a library. All right. Keep going. These cards, the common cards looked pretty similar for a second there, like in the same order. We got the Battering Ram. We've got the, is this the Dirk? I think it is. We got another Rumble. So very weird that we've gotten so many repeat rares in comparison, since they are, you know, these are smaller boxes and we only get 2 rares per pack still. So that is interesting for sure. All right. We've got 3 more packs, including this one that I just ripped open. We got the Treasure Hunter. We're going to be looking for some treasure. What else we got? Oh, we got, oh, I forgot the name of this, but Draven's Biggest Fan as well. We've got, oh, I don't know this card. Oh, we got, okay, and then a triple rare as well. So this is the one that gives you 2 extra, the Aphelios, which I know a lot of people have been trying to play in Jacks as well. So not too shabby. Definitely some playable cards in those. Rek'Sai also, I think, did really well this past weekend, so that's valuable. All right, we've got the Eye. It's Under Titan. Thank you, thank you, thank you. It just says you gain 2. Like, that's most of the reason people play it, right? But it does have a name. Well, you do have the Rek'Sai, and there it is. So that was a double rare pack, right? So I don't know if that was expected, but there we go there. And yep. And then one more to end it off. Yeah, I think we hit all of our hits pretty early, right? Because we got yeah, 3 epics, I think, and then the alt art. But we'll see if there's any last pack magic here. All right. Get the cask again. Blinding Touch. These are a lot of cards that we haven't gotten a single copy of already. We got the Sivir. We've got the Ezreal here. And that is it for us on that one. But you can see the difference between the Ezreal. I just happen to have it right next to me here, but very similar. Very, very similar. So, well, that's it. That's it for this box. If you guys want to see the cards we got a good amount of rares. Again, a interesting amount of repeats, if I'm being honest. But for the hits though, we get three, or the orange one. I can't remember the name of it. I always think it's legendary, but that's not correct. Epics, and then we did get the alt art here of the Rumble, 5 cost, which I have next to me, but not here. And then I will take the Mind Rune here because it does look very nice. So, but yeah, if you guys want to check that out, you can find it on EXP Share Collectibles. It's linked in the description. I do appreciate them sending me the box as well, and for our partnership in general too. So make sure to check it out if you haven't already. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll catch you all next time. Cool. All right. You guys can say that you were here and that you corrected Eggman about him knowing things and not knowing things. You know, of the legends that existed, I mean, one good thing is that I did not have playsets of these cards, so it is nice to get cards that I didn't have. The issue is that I don't have those cards because I didn't want to play them. You know what I mean? That's always the trick. But I do like this card's really sick though. Yeah, the Mind one here. But anyways, that's gonna be it for us though. Thank you guys for hanging out. This was fun. I know, obviously not like my most successful stream of all time, but if you stream and you feel like everyone has to, each one has to be a banger, that doesn't have to be the case. So everyone who stopped by has said hello, had some chatting, kept me company. I appreciate it, and I think thank you guys very much for that. We'll have some more stuff next week. I've got some potential big guests, so we'll see how that goes. Go from there. Yeah, Dwarf Commander, I need to get back into. It's tough. It's tough. As someone who does it full time, and sincerely, I think people overestimate how much of my time actually goes into streaming for my job. Streaming is still the same thing. It is a little bonus treat that I can do if I finish all of my regular work, which is mostly like website stuff. So anyways, that's it for me. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll catch you next time. Bye-bye. Bye-bye, bye-bye, bye-bye.